Woo-wee, what's going on, YouTube? It's Donnie B all day. So I'm going to bring you a knife, and it's going to be one of those two-parters because I have some things to say about it, and I don't want any review to go 20 minutes and have you guys pissing blood on me. So what we'll do is we'll just do two short videos instead. People seem to like that better. This one is just going to be explaining what it is, giving you all the specs and what I feel about it, like design-wise, and then we're going to do the video where we use it. Now, this was a loaner to the channel from everybody's favorite Isaac. He used to be Isaac the Noob, and now he's Isaac's Knives and Knowledge. So Isaac's Knives and Knowledge sent this to us. Go check it out. Let's get to the page with this knife so we can get all the specs. So everybody knows I'm not a big SOG fan, and it's pretty much because of their fixed blades. That SOG seal thing, I can't stand it. I just can't. I can't stand the look of it, and I'm not a fan. That seal pup I have, and I'm just not a fan. And then I looked at a bunch of their folders, and I wasn't a fan, except for one, this one right here. This one was sent by Scabber. And I have to say, aside from these scales, because they're that cheap glass reinforced nylon, it just feels like cheap plastic. Aside from the scales, I really love this knife. Never really said that about a SOG before. So Isaac was like, well, you really have to check out this one. This is called the Trident AT Blackout. And when I saw it, I was like, yeah, you know, I mean, I generally don't like things with a seatbelt cutter in them. I just think it looks goofy, even though they work. But it's not just a seatbelt cutter. They did it big enough to where you can cut some TA50 cords, so you can use it for cordage. It's not just like your typical EMT law enforcement knife. It does have the glass break, right? And it does have the belt cutter. And it does have the carabiner loop. All those are hand in hand with like a law enforcement carrier or like a safety carry, things like that. But it has extra points too that make it more than just that. It took me a little bit of getting used to, but here's something I'm going to say. This lock right here, when I saw that it doesn't lock up when it's open, doesn't need to. It's got the XR lock, and I think it's stronger than the Triad lock from Cold Steel. I think this lock is actually better. But here's the deal. It locks when it's closed, not when it's open. But when I first saw it, and I was like, oh, it's got one of those spine locks. Oh, I'm going to hate it because when you grab it, it's going to blah, blah, blah. I do not say blah, blah, blah. It's just going to be crappy. I like the lock. Okay, do I feel that it's needed necessarily? No, I don't feel like any knife really needs the lock. I got my ADV Tactical Pit Boss 2. It's got a lock. Does it really need a lock? No, but at least it's a good lock. It's not like those the Cold Steel ones are the sloppiest ones really of all the main brands. They just close whenever the hell they want. This one's actually good. I found out that it doesn't interfere with you at all when you're holding the knife. It does nothing negative. So I have nothing negative to say about this lock. It does have an indicator, a red fire button. Like on any firearm, when you see red, that means it's ready to go. At first, I was trying to like deploy it, and I was having really slow deployments with it. And I was like kind of doing that, and it was just, and I'm going, all right, I really don't like it. I'm not liking the way it flicks open. And then I went with the Spidey flick. Works way better. And then I was like, all right, well, if I could do that, I could do a thumb flick, and and I found out that just holding it in reverse and holding it upside down, which isn't always ideal, but it makes it come out really fast. The only thing I don't like, where they did a good job on this one, you can use the lock to open and close the knife all the way. I really like that. On this one, if I do that, it's spring assisted. So you can't just gravity close it. I'd have to like put a finger there and then work it, or put it against my body, or just two-hand it. It's not exactly the easiest closing knife when you're talking about one-hand operation. Can it be done? Obviously, yes. If you can't, you're an idiot. So this part right here Obviously, when you have this much material, you're talking about, okay, so now I have reduced strength. That's obvious. What are you going to do with it that's going to break? I have no idea. You'd have to be using it way down here and going side to side with it, or chopping with it, or putting it in this angle or this angle and batoning down against the blade. That's the only way you're really going to ever have a break in here, is if you're holding it way at the end and doing something really stupid. So I said, okay, I'm going to give it a pass. I don't like exposed blades there, but I found that I'm not going to get my finger in there accidentally and cut it, because, well, I'd have to be an idiot. Yes, it's true, I am an idiot. I'm just not an idiot that far. But going like this and pressing my finger against it, the meat of my finger is getting in there, and it's fairly close, but far enough away to where that will never happen. So I started thinking, okay, but not everybody who buys this is going to be police, EMT, fire, things like that. What else is it good for? Can you just be a regular EDC? Yeah, it's a sharp piece of steel. Of course you could EDC it. Has a really nice pocket clip. That's one thing I am enjoying about these SOGs, is their pocket clips are really nice. This right here sticking out is nothing. It doesn't hurt. There's no sharp points. I have to say that of all the knives that you see where they have some goofy thing sticking out of the rear, one of the best right there. I think that one's pretty good. Now you have the glass break right here, and you think, okay, great, a nice sharp piece of steel sticking out. I just meant to show you this part. Nothing. You're not going to hurt yourself here. So then I started thinking, well, what else could this be good for? And then I went, ooh, while I am not a big fisherman, I am a big survivalist. So can you use this for fishing? Well, you have a line cut. That seems pretty good. You can either use this to bash open things, but then I thought, well, why not this little piece of sharp steel against a mussel shell? A nice jab is going to split that right in half. So if you grab some mussels or clams or anything like that, you can break them open with that, and now you have bait or food, right? So I thought that was pretty good. It's just one of the things I liked. So let's talk about what I don't like about this knife, and it's going to be a really short list. Glass reinforced nylon. While this one is way better than this one as far as the feel, this feels so cheap, it's ridiculous. Even though it's not, this knife is super dope. This thing feels less cheap because the way they did the texturing, but it still has that plasticky feel to it because it's glass reinforced nylon. It's pretty much just plastic. If that knife and this knife were both scaled with micarta grips, I would be so in. This one a lot less because I just don't like the look of this. I really, really don't like the look of that. The blade is nice. I do like how it's not a traditional bellied point. It's semi-reverse Tonto type thing. Not so bad. The sway in it, again, like the other one, it doesn't have that SOG seal thing where it has that big double swoop. This one is actually super, super comfortable as far as what it's meant to be and where it's meant to be at. I have nothing bad to say about it except the cheap feel of the scales, which so far is the only thing I can say negative about those two knives, aside from a couple of the points. Like, I don't know, the I wish that I can use the XR lock like that one. I really wish. The spring assist is great to help it open, but does it really need it? You could have made it a flipper. You know what I mean? You could have given it that little bit of edge and turned it into that, and you had more of a guard than that, right? If you had more of a guard, you had that little flipper, then I think you would have been doing a little bit better than use the XR just like you're using that, because this opens just as fast by using the lock as this I mean, there's not much difference in speed. And when you're talking about, oh my gosh, I got to hurry up. Okay, that's pretty simple to use. I'll tell you, once I got used to it, I really like that now. This one, I wish it was more like that. If they made it a flipper, I think this would be a little bit better. Make this a flipper, take away the spring action. Now your closing is easier. It's a complete one-handed knife. To close it, you do this, and it's closed. That's it. So I think they could have used the technology in that one, in this one, and it would improve it. I think they have micarta scales on their website, like, I don't know about in this knife, but as far as other knives, which means they do have micarta on knives. Why use the glass reinforced nylon? I don't know. I think they would have been doing themselves a super, super good thing to be adding micarta on both these knives. Even G10 would be better, but micarta on these would both be excellent. And I wish that I could do the XR lock to open. It just simplifies things. But as far as opening and closing, this still works. Closing is just more of a pain in the ass than it is on that one. So far though, so good. We're gonna end it here. It's less than 12 minutes. It's not bad. Getting ready for Blade Show, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get this one in as far as part 2, or it might come after Blade Show. Isaac, thank you, my brother. If you don't know Isaac's channel, I'm subscribed, and there's a reason. Isaac's Knives and Knowledge. Go sub to his channel. Dude's a really good dude, and he knives and knowledge because he knows what he's talking about. But good stuff right here. From what I can tell, we will be using it. We will check it out. And that's it for this one. I am Donnie B all day. Until next video.